Hello and welcome everyone. Till now in this tutorial series, we have discussed how Django has its own templating language. Moreover, it also comes with several tags that communicate with the web application's front end. For instance, the for tag is utilized to loop through the database list of objects and display each one on the web page. Now let us discuss one important concept related to Django template, which is template inheritance. So we will start off this video by discussing two things. First, we will discuss what is template inheritance in Django, and then we will implement one example related to template inheritance. So without any further delay, let's jump to the very first topic. Now basically, template inheritance in Django includes creating a base skeleton template that includes all the common components of a website, and we can also create specific blocks that overrides the template, which are also known as child templates. Now let us discuss the concept of template inheritance with the help of an example. Now on the screen you can see one diagram. So let us consider that we want to build a company website. Now each page of the company website must have the same header and footer. So in such cases we can create a base HTML file which will hold the code for header and footer, and then we can inherit that base HTML file to create other web pages as well. For example, if I want to display one form but header and footer will remain same on that page. In the same way, we can have a home.html page which will have the content of the home page, but header and footer will be same, so it will be inherited from the base.html file. And then there is contact.html page which will have the contact details, but the overall header and footer will remain same. Now we can understand this concept better by implementing an example. So let us understand this thing with the help of an example. Now what I will do, I will move back to my Visual Studio Code. So here I am back to my Visual Studio Code, and for this current example, what we are going to use, we are going to use the core system project and the home application. First, what I will do, I will open the views.py file which is there in the home directory, and here we need to define certain views. So first I will define a view named home, and I will pass a request as a argument to it, and within this function what I will do, I will return this render function which has been imported from the Django.shortcuts module. Then we know the very first argument to this render function is request. Then we need to specify the name of the page. So let's specify the name as base.html. I have to keep this name in double quotes. Now let's create one more view. So what I will do, I will replicate this and I will change the name of the view. So let me name this view as form, and I will render form.html page from this. Now we know for each view we need to have a URL. So I will open the urls.py file. In this this URL pattern dictionary is there, and within this I have to define path for each of the view. So I will define the path function. Now path function is already imported from this Django.urls module. Now for home I will keep the string empty, and I will import view.home, and after this we also need to specify the name. Let me name it as home only. In last put comma, and let me replicate this. Now let me define another pattern for form, but this time we want a form view, and let me name this view as form only. Now what we have done till now, we have defined two views, two function based views, and then we have defined URL pattern for both of the views. Next we will define a template where the base.html file will be our base template, or we can consider that as a parent template, and it will consist the code related to header and footer. And then we will inherit this base HTML file to form another HTML file which will be our form.html. Now this form.html will act as a child template. So what I will do, I will move back to my templates directory. Now we have already covered how we can set the path for our templates directory. I will right click this templates directory and I will click on new file. Here first I need to create a file with name base.html. Now I will put this code inside this base.html file. Now what I have done with this, I have this code where I have one nav bar. So I'm using bootstrap 4, and I am using this code to portray one navbar. After this, I have used the br tag to have some break between the container class. Now after this, I have defined one div, and here you can see I have used this block content tag. Now what is this block content tag? So with the help of this block tag, we have defined one block. Now what we have done in this, we have simply defined the header and footer for the whole website, and between the header and footer we use the blog tag to define a blog. Now this blog tag acts as a placeholder. The elements we wish to display between the header and footer can be placed inside this block content tag, and to end this block we need to use this end block tag as well. Now what I have defined in this block, I have simply defined one heading which is welcome to Python guides. Now what I will do, I will open the terminal and I will run the application. So before we run the application, we need to activate the virtual environment. Now to activate the virtual environment, we need to run this activate.bat file. Once this file has been executed, this here you can see the name of my virtual environment is coming up. In the starting, it means my virtual environment is being activated. Now I have moved back to my project directory, and within this I have to use this command python manage.py run server. Now I will open this URL. Now guys, if you are following along from the previous tutorial series, you know I have mapped this home application to /home URL, and as I want to open the home page, I do not need to specify anything after this /. I will simply hit enter, and here you can see the page. So it consists of a header where this is a navbar. This is the title of the navbar. Here is the home page, and there is one more page with name login. Within the header and footer, I have defined the block content, and in the block content I have simply specified one, which is this welcome to Python guides. Now let's understand how we can inherit this template. For this, what I will do, I will create one more file which will be our forms.html. So in my view, if you see clearly, we created two views. First was home, and it was rendering the base.html file. So this is my base.html file. After this, we have created this view with name form. Now this form view is rendering form.html. So we need to create this one. So I will right click the templates directory. I will click on new file. Let me name this file as forms.html, and in this file I will paste this content. So what I am doing in this file, let's look closely. So here I have used this extends keyword. So here I have used this extends tag. What is the role of this tag? Now extend tag is used to inherit any template. So we are using the extend tag to inherit base.html file. So it will inherit all the components which are defined before and after the block content, and then we have specified the block content for this page. That's why we have used this block content tag, and within this we have specified one form, and in the last we have ended the block with the help of this end block tag. Now you all know we have mapped this form view with /form URL. So if I open the web page and if I specify form after home and hit enter, now here you can see it is showing that template does not exist. This happens because my file name is forms.html, and while specifying in the view file I have specified form.html, but while creating the file I have named it as forms.html. So if I put here s, and now if I refresh the page, it will open this login page. Now here you can see header and footer are same, and we have not defined any header and footer in our forms.html file. All this code is available in the zip file which comes with this video. So in the code you can look closely. We haven't defined any header and footer in the forms.html file. It automatically inherits the both header and footer from base.html. So with this, I hope you all understand the concept of template inheritance. And with this, we have also come to the end of this tutorial session. Thank you so much for watching this video. We will see you in the next one.